Okay, so we just got through in lesson 1 talking about some basic terminology, where do radians come from. Um, so let's see, what are radians? We talked about that. We also talked about what the pi over 4 unit circle was and how to use it to measure angles. We've got now to look at some pi over 6 angles. So really there's two sets of circles that we're going to be looking at. The pi over 4 unit circle and the pi over 6 unit circle. And really for our purposes in math, these are primarily the angles that we'll be needing. It's just a good way to get some standard so that we can talk effectively, efficiently, using common angles that we use all the time. Really, if you think about it, this is a 45-degree angle we use all the time in trig. 45, 45, 90 is the first thing that comes to mind when I hear 45-degree angle. And pi over 6 unit circle, you may realize, is, let's see, we'll go ahead and discover this for ourselves. So if you remember, I made note that the standard angle measurement or standard position starts on the right side of the x-axis. I failed to mention at that time that we really want to think of this circle as being centered right here at the origin of an x and y axis. So think of an x and y axis going through the center of that circle. So to move to the right 1 unit would put us at that first position of our unit circle. Erase that xy axis, and so again we're starting right here. That's our 0 radian and 0 degree angle. If I go halfway across the circle, we said that's 180 degrees, and I believe we said pi radians. So again, my writing's pretty horrendous. 90 degrees is pi over 2. Of course, pi over 4 would be right here. That's no longer on the circle. So now we have to think, okay, if that's pi over 2, we're going to split this circle into, well, a fourth of the circle into 1, 2, 3 parts. Another way to say that is, let's look at pi. How many sections have we split pi into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 parts. So really this is 1/6 right here. That's 1/6 of pi. So it's pi over 6. It's also 1/6 of 180 degrees. 1/6 of 180 degrees. I'll make a little note down here, 180 degrees. And that's awful. So let me erase that. 180 degrees times 1/6 would be, let's see, 180 divided by 6, that's 30 degrees. So that is equivalent to 30 degrees. 30 degrees is the same as pi over 6. The next angle up here would be a 60-degree angle. Each of these sections are 30 degrees. So 30 degrees, 60 degrees. If that's 1 pi over 6, this will be 2 pi over 6. And of course 2 pi over 6 is the same as 1/3 or just pi over 3. That's usually how it's written. So instead of 1/3 pi, we usually write pi over 3, which I'll go ahead and do. 1/6, 2/6, 3 over 6 would be 1/2. 4 over 6 would be the next one. 4 over 6 simplifies, let's see, 4 over 6 is 2 pi over 3. 5 pi over 6, 5/6. So I'll walk you through that again, as this is an easy way to count these angles. 0 pi over 6, 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6 simplifies to 1/3, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, and 6 pi over 6 equals 1 pi. Keep going in this manner. 7 pi over 6. 8 pi over 6 does not simplify. Oh, sorry, 8 pi over 6 does simplify, and 8 pi over 6 simplifies to 4 pi over 3. Let's see, if I lose count, 7 pi over 6, 8, 9 pi over 6. I know 9 pi over 6 simplifies to 3 pi over 2. 10 pi over 6 simplifies to 5 pi over 3. And finally, 11 pi over 6. I always end with this full revolution. It's 0 radians, and also simultaneously, once we go all the way around, it's 2 pi radians. So I do include those. So we've got a few angles on this circle that we need to be aware of. 0, 1 pi over 6, all of them multiples of pi over 6. So that we call it the pi over 6 unit circle. Up next, we will look at not only the angles, but also points that we find on these unit circles. So that's the next step. We've got the angles. Now we need to look for the points that are associated with each angle. So we'll do that in the next step.